A vehicle's age can affect insurance costs, but that's just one piece of the puzzle. Safety features, repair costs, driving records, these all play a role, which is changing the landscape of car buying and leasing. Well, here with more on how to get the best deals and what to expect is Michael Wise, Director for the South Carolina Department of Insurance. Welcome back. So what I'm hearing is a lot of people are holding on to cars that they've purchased, or that they are buying used cars rather than leasing because this actually brings down the insurance in some cases.
That could have an impact on insurance. A used car may cost less to replace than a new car, so it might be the case that it costs less to insure as a result. It could also be that there are other factors at play that have an impact. Some other things to consider are your driving history. If you have more speeding tickets or auto accidents in your past, then you're probably going to be paying more for insurance.
Yeah.
Where you live and drive is also important. How much you drive is another big factor in your auto premiums.
Yeah, even if you park your car in a garage outside, there's just a million different factors. Lots of questions that they ask you before they give you a quote on your policy. What is this doing to other drivers out there that maybe are opting for a new car, either purchase or lease? Is that driving the cost of car insurance up for them?
Well, we've seen car insurance prices go up in general over the last few months and over the last year or so. A lot of that's due to inflation. The cost of labor and also of parts for repairs has gone up a fair amount recently. And so you're seeing that come into your auto insurance rates as a result, whether it's a new car or a used car. Some things that we do advise consumers to do is shop around. That's the biggest thing. Every auto insurer rates things a little bit differently. So it may be that if you get 5 different quotes, you'll probably have 5 different prices, but one may be a better option for you. And also look at the coverages and what you need as opposed to what you don't need. We'd say if you have a vehicle that's worth $1,000 or less, then consider not carrying full coverage. You may not need comprehensive and collision coverage at that point in time. Just something to consider.
Right, right. Bodily injury, though, there is a certain minimum that you have to meet.
That's exactly right. For liability coverage, South Carolina law requires you to have $25,000 per person, and then you also have to have coverage for the property damage that you might cause if you were involved in an accident.
What happens if you are caught driving without insurance in South Carolina?
That's against the law, so you will most likely get a ticket for that. It can also reflect in your auto premium should you buy insurance further down the line.
Right, and driving records. So how long, let's say you get a speeding ticket, let's say you're insured, you get a speeding ticket, how long do these tickets stay on your record? You know, I've got a little bit of a lead foot. I'm not going to say either way if I've received a ticket, but from what I do understand, the cost is a significant jump from the previous policy amount.
Right. It can definitely have a significant impact, especially if you have multiple tickets or multiple accidents, but it could last for several years. I would say you could see anywhere from 3 to 5 years, but it would vary depending on the insurance carrier.
Anything special for veterans?
I would say shop around, talk to your agent. There may be a special program for a veteran, but driver training classes can have an impact. You can check with your insurance company, with your insurance agent to see if a particular driving course could save you money in the long term as well.
What about younger drivers? We've got a lot of young ones out there that are getting their licenses, they're learning to drive, and they're not terribly experienced. Is insurance pretty high for those drivers, whether it's a used car or new?
Used car or new, a new driver is going to be more expensive to insure. So if you've got a new driver that you're adding to your policy, it could add a significant amount of premium. Typically what we see is those costs start to level off once you hit 25 years of age. And that's just based on the data that's collected and accidents that are observed.
Is there any resource that people can cross-reference to know that they're not overpaying for insurance? Because if you do contact 5 different carriers, you will get 5 different price quotes. But how do we know what the baseline is? How do we know that we're getting the best deal?
The biggest thing really is to shop around. We encourage consumers to look for an insurance agent that they can trust and talk to them about their needs and help them go through that process. So that insurance agent might have different options based on what that policyholder needs. And so there could be cost differences there, but that's really the best way, is to get as many quotes as you can.
Okay, very good. Good advice, Michael. Thank you so much for that. And if you have any other questions, you can go to doi.sc.gov. That is the Department of Insurance website, or you can call 803-737-6180 for more information. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Drive safe, everyone. We'll be right back.